If you're looking for more horror outside of the mainstream, look no further than Unsung Horrors, a podcast about underseen horror movies. I'm Lance.
And I'm Erica. Every other week, we'll cover a horror movie with fewer than 1,000 views on Letterboxd. We'll even give you double feature recommendations to pair with the movies we discuss.
From gothic to shot on video, from slashers to comedies, from giallo to J-horror, we'll cover all the subgenres. So join us as we unearth these hidden gems of horror.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at Unsung Horrors, available wherever you listen to podcasts. And part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the three hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Good evening, and welcome to Night Gallery.
Thank you, Rod. And I want to welcome everyone to Midnight Viewing, where once a month we talk all about your follow-up to The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's Night Gallery.
They say it's Rod Serling's Night Gallery, and it isn't really Rod Serling's Night Gallery, it's somebody else's.
Oh, we know. We talk about it a lot. Your curators at Midnight Viewing are the Projection Booth's Mike White.
What can happen to human beings when trust is wiped out by suspicion?
And CultureCast's Chris Stachiw.
Small boy encased in a crystal ball.
And I'm Father Malone.
The kind of thing that usually infests nightmares.
Join us monthly at Midnight Viewing, the Night Gallery podcast at weirdingwaymedia.com.
Doesn't remotely belong to me. I have no proprietary interest in that at all.
Weirding Way Media.
I'm Chris Stachiw.
I'm Mike White.
And we are the hosts of Dreams for Sale, a monthly look at the Twilight Zone 1985. Now, no, this is not a mistake. We are not talking about Twilight Zone 1985 on this episode. We are talking about the latest reboot of the show, The Twilight Zone 2019. And we are joined by a good friend of ours, Jess Byard.
Hello.
And sorry to rope you into this, but here we go. We are talking about...
I've been watching it anyway, so I may as well have an outlet.
Yeah, right. So we are going to be talking about episode 3 and 4 of season 1 of the show, because somehow the show is getting a second season. Still don't know how that happened, but there's someone who is much smarter than me who programs for CBS All Access. If you missed our first conversation about the episode 1 and 2, go ahead and check that out. That is in the RSS feed. I think it's 2 episodes back. However, we are going to talk about Replay and A Traveler on this episode. So let's get right to it with Replay.
Presenting Nina Harrison, a woman who left her past behind to provide a better future for her son. Today, however, she will have no choice but to revisit history again and again on a fateful drive through the perilous highways of the Twilight Zone.
All right, so Replay was directed by Gerard McMurray, written by Selwyn Seyfu Hines, stars Sanaa Lathan, Damson Idris, Glenn Fleshler, and Steve Harris. And it follows a mother and her son as they try to get him to an all-black college, and they are pursued by what can only be equated to the T-1000 played by a fat man.
The American T-1000.
The American T-1000. The hillbilly T-1000.
I am powered by donuts and pie.
Yes. I like pie. Who the hell don't? So, Jess, since you are our guest, what did you think of the third episode of the new Twilight Zone?
Wow,
that good, huh?
It was fine. In hindsight, given other episodes of the show, it's not the worst. But again, for me, this whole show's been, its whole issue is that it has replaced social commentary for story, and it thinks that it's the same thing, but it's not. And this is just another example of the extremely heavy-handed, what have you, without anything that anything of substance to go behind it, other than the fact that yes, we know this is an issue. It's a very obvious issue, and the people that are watching this show are probably already on your side. So I don't even know who you're trying to talk to at this point.
What about you, Mike? I know you liked this episode.
Yeah, I actually like this one a lot more than the first two, because while there are some nods to Nick of Time, the classic episode, it's not as gratuitous with the feeling of the first Twilight Zone. Nightmare at 30,000 feet is obviously playing with Nightmare at 20,000 feet. The comedian just feels like an old episode of the Twilight Zone, whereas this one's got a little bit of that, but I don't know. Maybe it is just replacing the Twilight Zone-ness with the social commentary, but I actually kind of appreciated it. But it's not something that really sticks with me, because when I first saw it, I was really hot on the episode and was like, oh my God, they should have used this as the first. This should have been the pilot episode, and this really would have caught people's attention. I still think that that's true, but it's not like I'm going to go back and watch this one anytime soon.
Yeah, so I kind of err on the side of, I'm a little bit more, in the middle. I don't know. God, it's just, the heavy-handed nature of this show really didn't rear its ugly head until this episode. The first episode had a little bit of it with Adam Scott kind of hassling what he would assume is probably Middle Eastern people on the plane. And then the first episode didn't really have it kind of had social commentary, but it wasn't like this. This is the first episode of this reboot that really is so heavy-handed with the social commentary. It feels like it's almost foregoing telling a coherent story to just beat you over the head with social commentary. And there are some good performances. Sanaa Lathan and Glenn Fleshler are great, but Glenn Fleshler's great in everything. I mean, he essentially was quote-unquote discovered and when he played the villain in True Detective, and now he's kind of gotten typecast. I mean, he played a villain in Hannibal, and he plays the T-1000 who loves donuts in this episode. So he's kind of been typecast, which is fine because he kind of has that look and gait and demeanor to every character that he plays that works, but the episode at some point becomes so preachy that it almost drains it of all entertainment value that I would possibly hope to gain from it.
Right. And I mean, that's where I feel like it is one of the better episodes. I do agree. And I think that his performance is he's intimidating. Like you said, he has that look of just cop you don't want to run into, especially if you are an African-American person in the country on your way to an all black school. Definitely not the person that I want to run into, but like you said, that's all there really is to it. And I don't want to, I feel badly saying that I wasn't entertained about an episode that is, very much about a real racial problem that we have in this country, because that shouldn't be entertaining, but it is a show and it is a narrative show. And we do have to adhere to some narrative rules, or at least some narrative structure. And obviously, I'm not saying that means that it's an unstructured piece of television. It's a very, clear story, but it feels very paint by numbers, where we're just going from one beat to one beat to one beat, and we're not filling in any of that story, really.
Well, it's like a video game where you have to avoid dying, basically. It's like that mixed with Groundhog Day, and they just have the video camera as the device to reset things. And that's about it. And I was really hoping that she would somehow figure out a way to defeat this guy using her smarts rather than, oh, we're supposed to go to this location. Like I said, it feels like a video game. So it's like, oh, no, if we follow this path, then we'll actually be able to make it to the end.
You have like a regeneration point where you're like, fuck, I died here. All right, I can come back.
Right.
Yeah, you know, there are other episodes of this show in the original run that have done similar things. And I want to, and this is something we talked about when we talked about Nightmare at 30,000 Feet, Mike. I really want to drag this episode for trying to give fucking lip service to old episodes of the show. Do not show something from Nick of Time, because Nick of Time is one of the best episodes of the original run of the show.
It is. It's especially great when William Shatner tells his girlfriend not to be retarded.
Okay.
It's a real thing that happens, and it's... Wow.
That hasn't aged well, I'll give you that. But you and I both know, Jess, regardless of him calling someone a retard, it's still a great episode.
It is, yes.
But showing it in this episode, which is like a poor facsimile of other great ideas, who cares? Like, why? Well, who's going to be like, yeah, the fucking Nick of Time thing? Like, cool.
Yeah, it seems out of place because, like Mike said, there's no, you're not feeling like entertained or you're not having fun. So you're sitting there, you're watching this tragic thing happen to this woman over and over and over. And then they're like, oh, but look at this little thing. Isn't that cool? No, it's not cool, because now I wish I was watching that episode.
And I literally blinked and missed it. Like, until we were talking about it again the other night, I was just like, really? That was in there? I seem to remember it from the trailer, but I didn't actually remember seeing it in the episode.
Well, the shot from the trailer was the same shot from the episode, so...
Yeah, I must have been looking down.
It was like a split second, so you probably did blink and miss it.
But the whole idea that, you know, this racist cop is hounding her and her son, and she keeps going through these same deal, well, not same but different kind of iterations of the day, and her son ends up dying or arrested, or, you know, oh, he's got a gun, you know, that thing that happens in real life. It almost pulls the importance of it happening in real life out of the picture, because at the end they try to have this like, oh, but they get away and the camera breaks. And he goes outside, and then the sirens are heard like...
Do you love movies? So do I. What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I love movies. Inviting you to listen to The Conversation, a film podcast where passion meets perspective and opinion. From the old school to the new, I invite a guest on to discuss the movies that thrill us, challenge us, break our hearts, or even blow our minds. There's always new episodes dropping wherever you get your podcasts. So join the conversation. We don't just watch movies. We love talking about them too. The Conversation with KB Loves Movies, a part of Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
I get what they're going for, but God, just beat me over the head with it, please. Just beat me to death with the message, because I don't get it. I'm so dumb. Like, you can't treat your audiences stupidly. You can't treat your audience. Yeah, you can't treat your audience like they're total idiots, because in my opinion, that gets no one anywhere.
Right. And I mean, and that's like I said, I don't know, the people who are watching this reboot of Twilight Zone are probably more overwhelmingly, like a majority more center to left leaning. So who are you trying, like, you know, obviously the original has plenty of heavy-handed episodes. I mean, there are plenty of episodes of the original Twilight Zone that don't work for me either.
I would wager that there are more that don't work than do.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I would say that's,
I mean, when there's a show, there's like 30
ton of episodes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's like the X-Files or Supernatural or any show that has 25 plus episodes in a season. Like, the needle is going to move. Law of averages would say the needle is going to move closer to small, you know, a third good, a third great, and a third just like, ugh, God, get it away from me.
Exactly. And so for this audience, I mean, I think that, like I said, I just don't know who they're trying to give a message to. Like, we agree that this is a problem. A majority of your audience agree that this is a problem. And I don't know if it's maybe just like people like to be validated and that like, oh yes, no, see, I am right. Look at that. But I don't need a show to tell me that. I don't need a show to tell me, at least I don't need it to tell me this heavy-handedly. Like the original covered plenty of, really bad, strong issues that were happening at the time, that were happening in the past, that the possible problems for the future. But there was always something, it was always wrapped up in a story. It was always wrapped up in a nice, narrative format for a television show. It wasn't just a PSA, which is what this feels like.
Well, and the ultimate disappointment of this show, and this comes back to the bait and switch feeling of this show, is if Jordan Peele was actually writing these fucking episodes, they would be much better than they are. Because he has a deft hand at doing something like this without beating you over the head with it.
Yeah.
And it was a total goddamn bait and switch. This show is a total bait and switch. The people who are running this show are Simon Kinberg. And that guy is a fucking clown. Like, a total clown. He thinks that somehow working on X-Men Apocalypse and Fan 4 Stick are somehow, like, credits worth putting on your resume. So it felt like a bait and switch, and like if Jordan Peele had written this episode, it would probably be something worth watching. But because it's written by Selwyn Sefu Hyans, who I would assume, I don't even know.
This is his only writing credit.
Okay, that's what I figured.
I don't honestly have a huge problem with that because I do like the fact that the show is giving new writer, no-name writers a chance.
But there's not enough episodes to do. There's not enough episodes to do that.
Right, and I mean, not every no-name writer needs a chance, right?
I didn't say that.
Hashtag not all no-name writers.
Hashtag don't roast me, please. No, I mean, look, that's why I like anthology series. But when you've got 10 fucking episodes, you can't be affording someone who has no writing credit an episode.
I mean, I at least not that, if that episode is a Twilight Zone episode. If you made a brand new anthology that was totally removed from anything that has that kind of air about it. I mean, yes, obviously we should go into remakes and reboots and retellings and whatever you want to call them with fresh eyes, because in theory, that's what they should be. Like, it should be just a new version of somebody's new voice bringing back something that we love. But that's not what this is. This is just bringing it. I mean, that's what Black Mirror did. Black Mirror is the now Twilight Zone. Like that, it's doing it the right way, in my opinion. So why do we need this just to have the title Twilight Zone on it? Like just to get people psyched and be like, hey, it's Twilight Zone.
It's the IP recognition that is fucking pushing Hollywood right now. That's all this is.
That's true.
This is Terminator again. Go see Terminator movie. You like Arnold Schwarzenegger and, Linda Hamilton? Go watch Terminator again. Like, fuck you. Come on. And that's what this feels like. You like Rod Serling Twilight Zone? Like, yeah, you could watch 3 other versions of it. Literally.
Right.
Literally.
And a movie.
That's true. And I'd like to point out yet again, because
which is also heavy-handed.
Mike Wallace is not here. Twilight Zone 2000 is fucking better than this shit. So, regardless of what he says,
it's been a long time since I've watched Twilight Zone 2000.
You should watch it. It's really nihilistic in a way that I think didn't help the show. But, but it's better written than this, and that's astounding because that show gets dragged all the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Primarily because the theme song was done by the dude who's the lead singer of Korn. So
really?
If you can get past that theme song,
I totally forgot about that.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It feels like the 2000s. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Like I've watched all of Night Gallery multiple times, and that show is not amazing, but I would rather watch any episode of Night Gallery than most episodes of this new Twilight Zone.
Yeah, there are a couple Night Galleries that still stuck with me, like the Riding the Doll one. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah. That one's awesome.
Never seen Night Gallery, so...
Oh, what?
Oh, lordy.
Oh, lordy. Well,
lordy.
You know what they say. Sorry.
That's what they say?
do say sorry.
Yeah.
I say sorry to you, and
They
I'm not.
say it all the time.
They do. I often apologize. Oh,
Well, the good thing is, Chris, if you ever do decide to watch Night Gallery, there's only 2 seasons of it.
It's true.
You could actually do a podcast of it in, like, I don't know, a month.
You know what they say about shows with only 1 season? You would think you could do them in just a year, but Kolchak tapes is on year 3. So,
Oof. Wow.
is it year 3 or is it year 2?
Yeah, it might be year 3.
Oh, Jesus. But anywho, let's move on to the next episode. The twist at the end is about as heavy-handed as everything else.
Is it a twist?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Like, there's no twist in this. I don't...
Does he get arrested at the end, or it's like African-American people are always looking over their shoulder because they don't have a camcorder that they can go back in time with?
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it's that... I think it's that he leaves and she can't be certain anymore, which she only had the certainty because of that object. But, yes, I think that would be the overarching message, is that no matter how safe you think for however long you think, like, you could be safe for years and years and years, but because of this thing about you, about, your skin and where you live, you do kind of have to be looking over your shoulder over the time. And that is true. I entirely believe that. But it's just, meh.
It's not particularly done well. It doesn't have a twist. It's, it's okay.
But it's not the only episode that doesn't have a twist, in my opinion.
Oh, boy. Speaking of that, let's talk about the next episode, A Traveler.
Meet Sergeant Yuka Mangayak, a woman with a knack for detecting the most subtle of mistruths. On this night, a night of the most powerful of myths, that skill will be tested like never before. She's about to learn that the truth can take many different forms depending on how you look at it. Because tonight, Sergeant Yuka's vantage point is at the very heart of the Twilight Zone.
So, A Traveler is directed by Anna Lily Amirpour, who directed A Girl Walks Home at Night.
Which is so unfortunate, because I love that movie.
Right, you and me both. It's directed by Glenn Morgan. It aired on April 18th, 2019, but again, none of these are technically airing. They're just kind of being, dropped on the internet for people to torrent, because who has CBS All Access? It stars Steve Ewan, Marika Sela, Greg Kinnear, and Patrick Gallagher, and it follows Marika Sela as a Alaskan police sergeant who, on Christmas, gets embroiled in a weird situation with an alien played by Steve Ewan. Yeah.
Sure.
The credits for this show are not complete or right on IMDb, because I know at one point they called a character Kolchak, because that just stuck out so much for me.
Boy, they're really gonna incite the name Kolchak.
Yeah, they did.
Great.
I mean, was he doing it like as a joke?
No.
Like, okay, Kolchak.
No,
Or...
it was Mr. and Mrs. Kolchak.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, right. That couple.
No, are you talking about Mr. and Mrs. Matheson?
I don't think so, though I know that there was a character named Ida Lupino. WTF.
Why?
And there's a character with the last name of Mongo Yak. So, great. This episode is the worst episode of the run of the show so far.
I would
that's
disagree.
Tough. That's a race to the bottom.
Right. It's like the world's tallest midget.
I really hate Kid President. I really hate it.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. But yeah, this one, I mean, it just reminded me of so many better classic episodes. It reminded me so much of The Monster on Maple Street, and it reminded me so much of Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? And
that's the one that I thought that it was supposed to be the most about, like the most like.
And I really liked that episode, and I just rewatched the ending of it, and it still sends shivers down my spine, whereas this one, I could give a shit.
Right, exactly. And I mean, so, okay, what the plot is, she picks up, or explain, yeah, Chris, explain exactly what's going on in this plot. It totally was like, hold on.
I like the grasping at straws. So, what appears to be happening? in this episode is Yuka Mongoyak is a police officer who brings her brother in to be pardoned in Alaska because that's where she lives. And the police chief in Alaska in this town pardons people once a year on Christmas as kind of like a giving. However, as he's about to pardon him, a mysterious inmate appears in the holding cells who got there magically. And he's legally changed his name to A Traveler, and he's heard about the parties that are going on at this Christmas party in Diddledick, Alaska. And then things start happening, and maybe Greg Kinnear's character is embroiled in some bad things, and he's giving information to the Russians. I don't know. Like, I genuinely have no fucking idea what's happening.
Well, and that's the thing for me. Like, I don't know what it was trying. I don't know what it's trying to say, because you actually never know who was right. Like, whether or not, Greg Kinnear was really involved in this bad shit, or if he wasn't. And if he wasn't, then what was the point?
What's this whole
Other
thing?
than for aliens to come back and take over the world, I guess.
It's this whole thing where A Traveler is sowing seeds of dissent by basically pulling back the curtain a little bit on the goings on in this small town life, and just saying oh, well, this is actually really what's going on. And he just keeps raising the stakes as we go through. And it's oh, she doesn't, I'm just making this shit up. She doesn't put real apples in her apple pie. Those are actually pears or something like that. It starts with real innocuous shit and then just keeps building, and then pulling out all the aces with the Russia stuff at the end. It's just what? Where did this come from? It just feels like they make such a leap with that one because, of course, there's dirty politics that are happening and all these other things that are going on. And then the Russia stuff is just okay, that seems very unusual. And then when they reveal that A Traveler has antennae coming out of his head, and it's just okay, again, I am not surprised by any of the things that are going on in this episode, and it just feels like it's paint by numbers again. And it's just okay, we're going to hit every single beat, and there's nothing that's surprising me here.
And the crazy thing is that it's written by Glenn Morgan, who wrote some fantastic episodes of The X-Files, and he went full Chris Carter and just lost his damn mind. He lost his damn mind.
Mad with power.
I mean, he's producing the show. He's one of the producers on the show. But dear God in heaven, what was he thinking?
And as far as the whole, I think it really honestly felt shit, we haven't done an Alien episode yet. We're the Twilight Zone and we haven't done an Alien episode yet. Well, okay, let's do this one.
I'm still not sure they've done an Alien episode.
I know, I don't know. Well, I mean, he, I guess, is an alien. You see the weird head, kind of.
Yeah, and then it goes also, full alien at the end, and it's okay.
Well, there's also the side, the other underlying, not so underlying obvious point of how people are willing to screw each other over if it means that they're going to get something that they want.
Wow, Twilight Zone's being really deep there, just the deepest of deep.
With what's the lady's name? Mongoyak, yes. With her whole, well, if Greg Kinnear's out of the picture, then maybe I get to be the sheriff of this nothing town, because that's a dream.
Yeah, you're the emperor of the North Pole.
Right. There's and that's really what it is. I don't know why I should care about this tiny little nothing town that approximately 12 people live in.
Because the Twilight Zone told you to care.
Right.
It's because that town is the first point of attack for the Russians, or apparently the aliens.
And what are the aliens there to do? Are they there to make things better? Are they there to make things worse? Are they there to be our benevolent dictators, or are they there to get rid of everybody?
Well, yeah, I can't remember if it's the brother or if the alien. I think it's the brother says that things would be better with the aliens in charge, and it's
that is what he says.
Yeah.
Okay, so
boy, that's a conclusion to jump to.
Wow, yeah, I mean,
it's a mat that you jump to conclusions on.
things would be so much better if we had people that just came in and started stirring up shit all the time, I guess.
Yeah, I don't...
You know what they say, right? MAGA, right?
Yeah.
MAGA? I mean, that's what it, like, is every episode of this fucking show just gonna be a Donald Trump parable? Because the next one, folks, let me tell you, the next one, well, it'll take you out back and smash you over the head with a big orange pumpkin. So... what's the point of this episode if that's not the point that it's trying to make, right?
They're all real accepting of the fact that this person just randomly showed up in a cell inexplicably. Like, there's no possible way he could have got in there at all without it being something very strange. And they're all just like, oh, yeah, okay, let's bring him out because Greg Kinnear's such a cool guy. Isn't he the best? Let's just watch him do this. And it's not... But is that a
rhetorical question?
I mean,
isn't Greg Kinnear the best? I don't know.
Of course he is. I've seen Dear God. Yeah.
Isn't he? I've seen Stuck on You.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. I know.
I genuinely wonder... Like I said, because Glenn Morgan has written some fantastic stuff for other TV shows, and it's just, he wrote 2 episodes for this show, this reboot, 6 Degrees of Freedom, which...
Oh my God.
Right?
I know we're not going to go there right now, but oh my God.
Right?
I mean, that is...
about as bad as this one. It's just about as much wheel spinning.
That's another one that's not a twist. That's just, I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, that is white bread with mayonnaise on it.
We have made it through the filter. Fuck you, we have.
That was so bad.
Yep. Oh, it is. Yeah, yes.
Isn't Steve Yeun's character in this supposed to be or he says he's like a YouTube blogger?
Yeah, he's a blogger, YouTuber.
Agro traveler.
Yeah.
Agro traveler. Boy.
Which I don't know what agro traveler is supposed to mean.
They go to Chernobyl and have lunch. They're like, I'm getting radiation poisoning, my dudes. Like
extreme.
It's like that guy, the tickled guy. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. He did that dark... go watch... You know what? Just go watch that show.
That show's awesome.
Go watch the dark tourism show on Netflix. Don't watch this shit. It's such an inexplicably poorly written episode that seems like it knows what it's trying to say, but cannot convey it to us, the audience, at all, that it ends up just being this weird, morality tale of be careful what you wish for, you might get it, and aliens may eat pumpkin pie while you do?
But what are we getting?
Exactly. I don't know. Aliens that eat pumpkin pie.
She wished that she could be the head of the police station and not have to deal with her racist boss anymore?
And
okay.
The aliens are in control and she's reporting to them? I have no idea.
And why do they like her so much? Why is it we'll be able to communicate with you easier than we could with Greg Kinnear's character?
Well,
why?
He is Greg Kinnear.
And he is stuck on you. No, and this is kind of going back to why I said this is the worst episode of the show so far. At least the comedian, Nightmare, and Replay all have a narrative structure that makes sense, and they tell a story while the story might be generic and boring or trite, and we've seen it before. At least it makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, this episode just seems to fall apart.
And another thing, and this goes to the entire series, why did they think these episodes need to be an hour long?
I have no idea. 45 minutes could have been what you could have pushed it at, but that even still would have been, oof.
The Comedian was an hour long. Nightmare at 30,000 Feet was 20 minutes. Replay was an hour. This is an hour. The next one is an hour. Fuck you, seriously.
I think they're all an hour.
Except for Nightmare, and Nightmare is even too long because the coda at the end of the episode almost ruins the entire episode.
Yeah.
Fair.
At least it's short enough, but it's still just too long. This is just 45 or 53 minutes of just God knows what. And it's unfortunate because Steve Ewan's not bad. He does the creepy thing pretty well.
Well, that's the thing. With this show, they're getting decent talent.
Oh yeah, they're getting pretty well-known people.
And even the people who aren't well-known are pretty decent, actors. It looks great too. That's the thing. All the sets look awesome. It's really lush with color. Lighting's really good. But just from a technical standpoint, it's fine. But from a storytelling standpoint, it's not at all.
Right.
But that's why you want it in black and white, right, Jess? Because it's coming in black and white, and it looks so good. It's going to look better in black and white.
Oh, God.
Remember when Logan was in black and white and everyone was like, this is amazing?
I blame Mad Max for starting that.
Was that the one that? Yeah, I guess it was.
Which I still haven't seen it in black and white. And I'm sure it probably does look great, but I don't need to.
I've seen the movie already. It doesn't change the movie other than the way it looks.
Right, exactly.
Like, I get it, but, like, who cares? This is not like the definitive Twilight Zone. The definitive Twilight Zone, you could make the case that the original TOS is the definitive, but the 1985 show has a lot of great episodes as well. So I don't know what the definitive Twilight Zone is. I'm curious where y'all kind of fall in the spectrum. But for me, the definitive Twilight Zone would be picking a couple episodes from each version of the show and putting that together as kind of like, this is what, if you want to understand what Twilight Zone is, here's kind of the breadth of the show across the reboots. I'm not sure I've seen an episode from this version of the show yet that deserves to be in a conversation for episodes worth watching from the show.
No.
Yeah, it's going to get honorable mention, and that's about it. And, you know, the key for the original, I think, was great writing. And I have yet to see great writing on this. And, you know, they had really killer genre writers on the second one, or on the first one. And then, like we've seen on the second one, you know, having Harlan Ellison and a lot of other really great writers on that show. And it's like, okay, cool. This is great. But on here, it's like, I don't know, Glenn Morgan, what are you doing? Are you sleeping while you're writing this? What's going on?
Well, and here's the other thing about the original show and then 1985. It was also a lot of adaptations of short stories.
Right, exactly.
And you're telling me since 1985, because I don't remember if the 2001 has story adaptations, I would have to go look. You're telling me since 1985, no short stories have come out that can be adapted into a teleplay? Like, I know that might be kind of, you know, seen as like giving up or not going the whole distance, but instead of that, we get a traveler. Like, fuck off. Like, I mean, adapt something, please.
Like you said, the original is comprised of a lot of adapted stories. So no, I don't think that's giving in and giving up at all.
Right.
No. I mean, they brought, Richard Matheson, Charles Beaumont, so many good, and Rod Serling wrote the large majority of those episodes. And for me, the definitive Twilight Zone is the original, although I do like the idea of taking episodes from each, aside from this series, but from each incarnation and putting them together, that would be a pretty cool thing to see, I think.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the original. That is where I stay. And yeah, there are a lot of not great episodes. But the thing is they were trying things. They were trying really different, really bold things in 1960. Like 1960 and Rod Serling doing social commentary is a whole different ballgame than somebody trying to do social commentary now, where everything is social commentary. Every single thing. You get online, you open a magazine, whatever, it's in your face. It's all there. In the 60s, it was really, you weren't supposed to speak out about stuff like that. You got called out on it a lot harder than people get called out now. Somebody get mad at you for 5 minutes on Twitter before they get mad at somebody else for 5 minutes on Twitter?
Yeah, at least the social commentaries on Black Mirror seem to actually hold some weight. And it's, the social media episode with, I can't remember Ron Howard's daughter's name.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like, oh, wow, that really is saying something. And yeah, it might be a little heavy-handed and stuff, but it actually is saying something. Okay, cool. Or, we'll maybe talk about, Kinder Kid or whatever. And,
I like that name better, by the way.
I kept thinking of thinking of the Waldo effect or whatever it was from Black Mirror, and I'm just like, wow, Black Mirror, you take it even farther and elect a cartoon character, okay, great.
So the thing about this show, and look, y'all know me. I'm talking about Jess and Mike. Y'all know me. I am not a Trump supporter in the slightest, but it almost is like they're so hung up on the current times that they can't figure out a way to have something interesting to say about anything.
The future time.
Right, or anything. They're so hung up, like, yeah, look, Donald Trump fucking sucks. Everybody knows that, unless you support him. And that's fine, but like you are focused on this shit way too much.
It's not going to age well at all, and that's the thing with the original Twilight Zone, and even with the other incarnations. It was always focused on what we're doing to ourselves now is going to affect us in the future, and this is what it's going to do to us in the future. Right. Midnight Sun, one of my all-time favorite episodes, is that in itself is a commentary on climate change and being more aware of the environment from that, that far, back. But now what are they going to do? I haven't seen anything in regards to that, like, idea of what's going on, what's going wrong in the world. And like you said, they're so hung up just on the Trump aspect. They're not focusing on any other real issues that are happening in the world or that's happening all around us, because they can only focus on Trump, which I guess is just what the world in general can only focus on right now, because he just makes it impossible not to.
Well, or people make it impossible to not focus on anything else. Well, it's the easy thing to blame. I get it. Like, it is easy to blame everything on one person because that person is such a turd. But, like, good God, Not All Men, Wonderkind, and Replay are all talking about something that effectively comes back to the current state of America. It's like, oh my God, like, where this is going, like 10 years from now, people are going to watch this and be like, oh, shit. God damn, like, fucking, what were people fucking whining about all the time? Like, go back and watch the monsters come on Maple Street, like, or that's not what
that sounds like the Pornhub version.
That is the Pornhub version.
That is. I actually don't remember the full name, but it's definitely not.
Monsters Are Due on Maple Street is what you're looking for.
I knew it was weird. I kept watching these fucking movies on the internet where it would have like a yellow dot show up with the record next to it, and I was like, oh my God, these monsters are really messing up Maple Street. But that has aged so well because it is not talking about racism per se. It's talking about isolationism and, you know, fear of your neighbor and fear of people in general. And then you have something like Replay that's like, it's a black and white thing. Like, oh God, this is going to age so poorly. Right. And like, Mike, you can attest to this. As heavy-handed as the fucking episode with the dude from The Invisible Man is in the 2000 show, it's way better than Replay.
It totally is.
By the way, Jess, that's the episode where a man doesn't allow a black man who's being chased by white supremacists into his car in the middle of the night, and he starts turning into that black man.
Oh, I remember that episode.
And it is really good. It's a little heavy-handed, but the message, I think, works better because it's like, it's not just about racism, it's about walk another mile in man's shoes, and, you know, and this episode's like, white people are bad.
White people confront things rather than white people watching things from the safety of their couch going, yes, I agree.
Yeah. And so that's like, I agree 100%, Jess, this show is going to age so poorly.
And look, I'm not to say, I mean, all of these episodes are dealing with real issues. Like, yes, the racism is a real big problem, especially, you know, cop violence. That's a big problem, and it is something that needs to be talked about. Which for this show's purposes has not aired yet, but the Not All Men episode, that's a real issue. Like, that things like that are occurring all the time. But there are ways to talk about them in a broader scope and a look. This is what we're doing to ourselves. Not this is just what's happening right now, and we're all just freaking out about it.
Yeah, I agree, and that's the big takeaway here. Not from a traveler, because I think it's just a really poorly written episode. But
yeah, it's just a nothing episode. Which I mean, I can never say her name.
Marika Sela?
No, the
Yuka
woman who directed it.
Oh, Anna Lily Amirpour.
Yes, her. I mean, I have no idea what she's doing here. Like, why did you bring in this director?
Director for hire.
I guess.
It's unfortunate because she is a fantastic director. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this doesn't really speak to her style or anything. It's just like, what are you doing?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm curious because it's bad. Real bad. So, but until we talk about the next two episodes, which are...
Do we have to?
Which are The Wonderkind, otherwise known as Trump, MAGA, 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 the episode, and 6 Degrees of Freedom, otherwise known as That Time They Let Glenn Morgan Write Another Episode.
And then we did What the Hell Happened Here?
Yeah. Where can people find you, Jess?
You can find me on Twitter at writer Jess Byard, and I am on Instagram with the same thing, but you'll pretty much just see pictures of my cats. So do with that what you will.
Where can people find you, Mr. Mike White?
You can find me over at jessescats.com, where I just repost. It's kind of the fuck Jerry business model. I just repost everything that Jess posts, and then I try to garner traffic for it. I claim it as my own. That's my cat. I don't, no credit to her.
And then you deny that it's someone else's stuff.
Exactly. That's pretty much the way to go these days.
Fair enough.
Where are you actually?
I'm over at projectionboothpodcast.com, where every week I put on a movie show and, talk about different things. And then you can also find me and you, Chris, in case you've forgotten. We also do a podcast called The Kolchak Tapes, which you can find at kolchaktapes.com, where every month we talk about a different episode of The Night Stalker, both original and reimagined.
Oh, it's an imagination, all right. They had a good one. Speaking of people who used to work on the X-Files.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And you can find me over at Mike White's Jess'sCats.com, where I repost posts that Mike posts of Jess's cats on Friendster and Napster.
Wow.
Yeah, right. Maybe Zanga, too, if we're lucky. No, you can find me on Twitter at Culture Stash. I do a podcast with my friend Mike Wallace, where we talk about Chronicles from the Crypt. You can find that at chroniclesftc.com. I do a little podcast called The Culture Cast, where we talk about movies. You can find that one at theculturecast.com. Jess and Mike have both been on that. You can find us there. You can also find this podcast at Twilight Zone 80. Twilight Zone, Jesus. At twilightzone85.com. And big thanks to Roxy. Oh, shit. I don't have it in front of me. Roxy Driving the Neutron Dreams?
Something like that.
Big thanks to Roxy Driving the Neutron Dreams for the intro-outro music for this episode, and we'll catch you on the next one.